Well, I remember one time this young guy said to me, because I was still living in Brooklyn for a lot of that time, and he said, Harvey, you'll never become an actor unless you leave Brooklyn. You have to move to Manhattan. And I said, I don't care about becoming an actor. I just want to make money. And he said, that's not a good attitude. I said, well, that's the way it is. Until I realized years later I was lying. I was like afraid of it somewhat, you know, to admit that I wanted something other than just to wake up in the morning and have a cup of coffee and make money. Acting is doing things truthfully with a purpose. I was in Brooklyn until I was 17 when I joined the Marines then for 3 years, and that was quite an experience. And then when I came out, I wasn't very happy. Mm-hmm. I was very sort of depressed walking around New York. I'd become a court stenographer working on like a typewriter, and I was just very unhappy. I said, I have to find something else. And one day, this guy I was working with said, Harvey, do you want to go see about acting lessons? This is just the way it happened, really. I worked hard. It didn't come as a gift. You know, I worked very hard at it for years and years and years. You know the old story, no agent, no money, and this and that. But I'm just so lucky to have met the people I met and worked on the projects I worked on that any word of ingratitude would be disgusting coming from me. Robert was standing with her. And I just said, hi, Mary. She said, hi, Harvey. She said, Harvey, this is Robert. Robert, Harvey. And so, this is just the way it happened. He looked at me, I looked at him. And we sort of slightly grinned, you know, and we mumbled something, but we never said a word. We went, he went, and then we broke into like a grin. And then we had a big smile, and we're still going. And then we started laughing. He was a student at NYU, and I was a young want-to-be actor. I was studying acting in New York, and I was selling shoes at nighttime, part-time. He had auditions for the part. The film was called Who's That Knocking at My Door? There were a lot of actors that came to audition for the part, and I was shocked because there was no money. Nobody was getting paid. Marty was great. We became fast friends. We came from families similar. Although I came from Brooklyn, he came from the city, from Little Italy. But we had so much in common. We became close friends almost instantaneously. He didn't want to do it. Marty told me. And this is before Robert and I had ever spoken. It was since the first meeting. And I said to Marty, let me talk to him. Because I knew his work from the actor studio, and you know, it was amazing. And so I went to him. And I asked him, I said, why don't you play this part? There's no actor on the planet that will play this part the way you can. And he did it. Dance I do with Jodie in the movie, we made up. These scenes were not in the script. There were only 5 lines. The part of the pimp in the script was described a pimp standing in the doorway. And that was it. Not how he was dressed or anything. But I had known these pimps from where I lived, so that's where I got the idea of the long hair and the costume and all that. He had never directed anything in his life. He had never directed a piece of film. He was renting films in video stores, but he had studied acting a little bit. So he knew something about my way of working, and he liked the style of working that I grew up in and studied in. He always did his own sound effects. Like usually when you're shooting a gun at somebody, you go, okay, I shot the gun. He goes, bang! It was just like magic. It was like a fairy tale. Next dream. I really think I'm living it.